The American people are facing a crisis. It's not the manufactured threat of a distant adversary like Vladimir Putin. It's the immediate danger lurking right outside our doorsteps, in our neighborhoods, and on our streets. We are losing the battle for public safety, and the obsession with foreign policy distractions is blinding us to the harsh reality at home. Every day, we hear about the latest developments in Ukraine, the newest sanctions imposed on Russia, and the endless speculation about Putin's next move. While these issues are undoubtedly important, they pale in comparison to the very real threat that crime poses to our communities. We can't afford to be preoccupied with events on the other side of the world while our own cities descend into chaos. The truth is, we are facing a perfect storm of factors that are fueling this crime wave. Lax law enforcement, fueled by the defund the police movement, has emboldened criminals. The glorification of criminality in popular culture has desensitized our youth to the consequences of violence. And the steady flow of illegal drugs across our porous borders is poisoning our communities and enriching the cartels. The uncontrolled surge of illegal immigration at our southern border is not just a humanitarian crisis. It's a public safety nightmare. While not every migrant is a criminal, the sheer volume of people entering the country illegally makes it impossible to properly vet them. This creates an opening for criminals, gang members, and drug traffickers to slip through the cracks. We are seeing the consequences of this border crisis play out in communities across the country. In some cases, local law enforcement officials have reported an increase in certain types of crime, such as drug trafficking and human smuggling, that they directly attribute to the influx of migrants. The strain on resources caused by this surge is undeniable, diverting crucial manpower and funding away from other critical law enforcement priorities. But the true cost of this crisis goes beyond statistics. It's measured in the lives shattered by drug overdoses, the families torn apart by gang violence, and the communities terrorized by criminals who exploit our broken immigration system. We cannot afford to ignore this reality any longer. Adding to the volatile mix is the rise of gang violence and the scourge of drug lords operating with impunity. Gangs, often with ties to transnational criminal organizations, are tightening their grip on our cities. They traffic drugs, engage in human trafficking, and terrorize neighborhoods with their violence. Drug lords, enriched by the insatiable demand for narcotics, operate with virtual impunity. They bribe officials, intimidate witnesses, and use their vast wealth to exert control over entire communities. The opioid epidemic, fueled by fentanyl pouring across the border, continues to claim thousands of lives each year. And let's not forget the consequences of releasing individuals from mental institutions onto the streets without proper care or supervision. While well-intentioned, these policies have often backfired, leaving vulnerable individuals to fend for themselves and leading to a rise in homelessness, drug addiction, and crime. We must prioritize the safety and well-being of all citizens, including those struggling with mental illness, by providing adequate support and treatment options. The American people deserve to feel safe in their own communities. We cannot allow our country to become another example of what happens when law and order break down. We must demand that our elected officials make public safety a top priority. This means enacting common-sense policies like securing our border, supporting law enforcement, cracking down on gangs and drug traffickers, and addressing the root causes of crime, such as poverty and lack of opportunity. It also means rejecting the dangerous ideology that demonizes law enforcement and emboldens criminals. It's time to stop worrying about Putin and start focusing on the very real threats we face at home. We need to reclaim our streets, restore law and order, and make America safe again. The future of our country depends on it.